Hi, this is Luis again. We're going to show you the procedure how to turn all the systems to run the boat. So first we'll open the engine compartment, which is housing this 180 horsepower Yanmar diesel, turbo diesel. So this is very simple. You open the valves. Here we have one of the main cooling valves, and here we have the other one. So now they are activated. Then we'll open the switches. We have 4 switches here. So this is the main engine switch. This is the front thruster, rear thruster, and here on the back one that you can see, we have a 4th switch, and this is the cabin switch. So everything is on. We'll close this back, and we are ready now to crank the engine. Normally it takes from 3 to 5 minutes to have the engine in a good temperature to just get out of the dock. So come by, please. So we have here our main panel switches. So we're going to have the trim tab on, GPS plotter. Autopilot, we're not going to engage it right now since we're not going to navigate today with autopilot. And well, there are lots of other ones that we don't need. A little bit later we'll be using the navigation chart light, and we have previously engaged the AC main and the battery charger. That's always in when you're docked. Since we're here, this is the power inverter, and right now we have it on the charge mode because we are docked. And pretty much that's it. Here is the fuse for the anchor. So this fuse, if it gets not to work, you just apply it and it will work again. And here we have the levels of charge 1, 2 and 3. Right now we see our 12 volt batteries are at 13 volts, which is as much as they'll get. And on the AC we have 119 and 120 volts. So next step, it's getting dark, so we're going to engage the navigation lights here, and we are all set to crank the engine and begin the 5-minute heating process. Here we have the instrument panel, which shows you the RPMs on this side, oil pressure and temperature, and we have lots of settings. We'll show you right now. One of them is the turbo pressure here, the fuel rate, the load on the engine, and the throttle. Since we are not using the throttle, it's not showing nothing. Here we have another the hours on the engine, 284 hours on this R27. The capacity of fuel of diesel, and well, speed, of course, we're anchored. And here we have another. This is if you just want to see the tachometer. But you'll also have it here digitally on the main display. And well, these are the options to put more contrast or less, but normally what we like to do is always leave it. Sorry, just a sec. Okay, here we go. Leave it with the RPMs, oil pressure, and coolant. This is the things that I like to know when we are en route. This is autopilot. Again, we're not going to engage it right now, but well, very handy thing, and it's of course married with the GPS 5212. These are your thrusters. To engage the thrusters, bow and stern thruster, you apply both buttons on at the same time. If you just put one, it won't work. Here we have front and here we have rear. It will disengage itself if you leave it for over, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes. I'm not sure about that. But if you want to disengage it yourself, you just have the off button here and it's now disengaged. Here we have the trim tabs. These are hydraulic, so you have your right and rear side. Of course, this is to balance the boat depending on your navigation needs, how the water is, if it's choppy, and also if you have more weight in one side of the boat than the other, you can compensate with this. Very, very handy, simple process, and hydraulic, so it works like a charm. So now we are going to show you how this GPS Garmin 5212, well, GPS and multifunction display works. So now we have activated the multifunction display by Garmin. By the way, all the systems here, other than the engine monitor, which is from Yanmar, everything else is provided by Garmin. So we have here charts, sonar, combination. You put it as better works for you. We have here, for us, one of that we use more here on the bay is this one. That's the sonar, and we also have our 3D GPS. As you can see, we have all the pictures, satellite pictures, and these black lines, black with white lines, are it's the routes we have previously done. So that's a nice feature, because you know places where you have been before. You can follow that at night and be sure you're not going to hit nothing there. So we'll get back to home, and again, combinations, there are lots of them. We'll show you another one here. This is Deep Finder. How this one is set up, it's the Deep Finder, which also can be provided like Fish Finder. That's another thing this thing has. Again, your charts, and here is your radar or radar. I apologize, I have a very thick English, but I hope you understand that. Okay, configuration, it's everything. It's a very large list to show, but pretty simple to use. We have preferences, communications, alarms. Alarms will be like, you can set the depth, how deep you want to use your boat, and in this case we put 3 feet, and if we get to 3 feet, an alarm will make noise. And well, we'll get back. Man overboard, of course, if you see somebody's down, you just push this button and you'll pinpoint whoever went or whatever is in the water you want to pinpoint. Where to is, if you're going to use the autopilot, you program the where to, and it will take you directly. Here we have the radar, and you have lots of different things that you can use for cruising and whatsoever. Again, I'm not an expert on this, but it's proven to be very user-friendly. Information is what you need. All the systems which normally are for tides, user data, graphics, and whatsoever. Other than that, something we just found out, and it's very easy to use, but at night, if you have a lot of light, it's a little bit you can see very well outside, so you can control your dim. Again, going to your systems, and you put the backlight. Right now we have 90, but at night you want to have it maybe at 25, and it will reduce the glare. And of course we have some light right now, so we'll have it on 90. I know there are tons more of things this thing does, but this is mainly what we have used. On this side we have the chip. You can put the chip wherever you're navigating. Here we have the California and Mexico, northern part of Mexico chip. So this thing you can update it just taking it out and taking it home to your computer. That being said, I have activated my thrusters. I can just use a little bit my front and rear thruster and apply a little bit of reverse. Now I'm in neutral, and very easily, just with the thrusters, I'm going to take the boat out of the sleep, which I am applying them right now. So as you can see, very easy operation. And now we are going to show in a very tight spot how we can turn this boat. It's super tight, and we can do a 360. So now we're getting back to port. I just took the buoys back there, and here we're going to put the two buoys right now. So we are all set. Another thing that we want to do before parking the boat is putting our two thrusters in the on position. So putting the two ons, they will engage. And now we're just going to our sleep. Today we have a little bit of current coming back to the marina, which is not a big deal. Really the thrusters make you look like a good captain. I haven't even the experience of 2 months navigating, and one of my main concerns was to park the boat. I used to own a dinghy, so you can imagine how well, I was a little bit nervous about that, but now you'll see how easily we'll get parked. Again, as I was mentioning, today we have some current, so we're going to use the thrusters a little bit. Since I'm a lousy captain, I'm not using that much the rudder. I'm pretty much applying thrusters again. And there's our sleep. Now we're just using front thruster. Very easy to correct. Thruster, and now I can cut the engine. And as I mentioned, lousy captain, and again, one-man operation. Regarding things that I customize was these doors that go to the cabin. Ranger Tug made those, well, they did not put doors, they just put a piece of fabric. So we did these foldable stainless steel type doors. Also here in the back, we did the same thing on the door of the head, as you can see. And also we did the same for the other storage or mini cabin that we have here, that came also with fabric, and we also customized this type of doors. Speaking of customizing, we also installed these Titanic type lights. They are LED lights, one on each side. This will be one, and this will be the other. Also, you can see it has that black type of leatherette. This is from the bigger version, the R31. We did that since it was nicer to have these styles, or we like it more. Also, we did that on the where we have all the panel controls. These typically come with just plain wood, other than the R31, which does come with this type of leatherette. So Another thing that we customize is doing these benches. I did not install right now the back part of the bench, but we do have it. This boat comes with two different sets of cushions. These are almost new. We did that in December of 2018. And well, here's a retractable bench. The rear bench that comes from factory, but without this type of sombrero fabric. And also we installed this hatch to have access to the switches. Otherwise we'll have to take out the complete bench each time you want to engage the switches. So this is a very easy way to access that part. We built these stairs too. These stairs will be used to go to the hard tub we installed. Also, that was made by us. You open that hatch and have access upstairs, where I'll show you just in a while place where you can tan. There's another retractable bench. So everything was built with stainless steel marine grade. Okay, so we are upstairs and we install here a 180 volts solar panel, and this is also the retractable chair we put for you want to take some sun, something like that. You just open that. Very comfortable for two. And on each side we also install these two pipes where you can put your fishing gear.